The point system is still bad. And I know I'll get some massive disagreements right now in the comment section. And I know people keep saying they don't want to use a point gun, which by the way, you didn't need to if you didn't want to, all right? It was simply there to maximize your points, maximize your strategy. Well, folks, we have no strategy in Black Ops 6. No strategy at all. But we do have a strategy on how we spend our points. So that is a welcome change. But someone on YouTube that goes by the name of Clam Rowley, which has a nice and sexy profile pic, let me tell you folks, sexy no sexy. He made a title that says the horribly misunderstood new point system. And that calls for me, folks, like how orange chicken calls for me. So let's dive into it. But keep in mind, folks, I will not play the whole video because I'm a firm believer if I play the whole video, why would you want to see the original video? So I will try to play half of it. So let's get into it. Alrighty folks, so let's actually see what this guy has to say. We're gonna play a little bit of it. We might actually skip a few parts, but let's see what we got going on here.
Video by saying, like a lot of my other videos, this one's going to require a bit of a nuanced mindset. Which one's better for zombies? You might be quick to answer that by saying the old system. But what if I told you no? I think the point system is just...
Alright, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I don't know. I kind of disagree with that right off the bat. And plus, I think it's... I always talk about it. I think the old point system is really good. But I'm willing enough to keep on listening to him.
Find the way it functions with the earn points per kill instead of earn points per shot. Linearly increasing point costs for perk purchases are better than the stagnant cost.
I talked about that already, which pretty much increasing the perk cost is actually good and beneficial. I do like that, but I mostly talk about on how we get the points. I just want to add that.
That the perks had in the classic days, and salvage is definitely a welcome addition to the point economy. And while
salvage is really good, I agree.
I think the old point system might work in this new game. I do think it's important to give this point system a fair shot and kind of explain.
We did give it a fair shot when it came down to Cold War, so I do want to say that. And we also are giving it, I guess, a fair shot again when it comes down to Black Ops 6. So that's kind of two fair shots. I honestly skipped Vanguard, so I don't even know how Vanguard worked. I think Vanguard might have been the same way. So we actually been under the system for quite some time. So I feel like it's kind of a while now where we can actually say, look, I think the old point system was better.
I think I can confidently say, and I think mostly all of us can agree on this, that the core draw to zombies starting way back in World at War is the potential to play to reach a higher round.
Okay, yeah, I agree. But like I said in this video right here, you guys should watch that video, by the way. I feel like zombies kind of evolve into an objective-based game mode. It doesn't feel like a high round zombies mode now, but rather, can we defeat this boss? Can we actually beat him? Instead of like, bro, you think we can go to round 100? Maybe. But let's just see what else he says.
Zombie normally, just in the chest, you get 90 points. If you kill a zombie in the head, you get 115 points. And if you kill a zombie with a melee, you get 105 points. Now, I think the points were a little bit different in Cold War, but the important part is that both of these games, you didn't get points when you shot, only when you killed the zombie. That's the most important part.
I do want to say he explained it very well. It's just very confusing why they made melee 105. I feel like it should be 115, the same amount of points as a critical. So yeah, I'm a little confused on that one.
But why is the old system so good? Let's get into that. It rewarded clever play. To take a quote from CJ Santa's video,
you see, with the pistol, it gives the players who are smart the opportunity to min-max the number of points they can get on very low rounds. You could just shoot a zombie with your bullets in the chest until they die, or you could shoot the legs, which does less damage but gives you more points, and then knife, which really provided more points for the player.
I 1000% agree.
So boys, haha, 1 point for classic and none for the new point system. Because like, it's like, oh man, like the old point system, how they did it when how you get your points was so amazing and so cool. Like there was a lot of strategy to it. So that's why I really was, man. I'll tell you what, folks, it really was. But let's continue on.
High rounds. The reason I don't like high rounding in the old games is because, to be honest, I think they're incredibly boring.
Okay, going high rounds is very subjective, where I came to find out, because I actually started to enjoy Black Ops 6 high rounds because it started getting hard with Mangler spawning in and it felt more stressful. Classic Zombies did felt like it got boring after a while once you got a strategy down, but that being said, I don't know how this has to do with the point system, but maybe he'll explain it.
And just not engaging at all. Not to say that someone can't find that fun. Clearly people grind the high rounds of the older games all of the time, and when they do get these crazy high rounds, I'm like just in utter awe with how dedicated someone can be to get those insane rounds. Like nothing short of absolute respect to these guys. Like y'all are insane. I could never do that. Me personally, I just don't really like old game higher rounds for many reasons, and I actually do think there are legitimate flaws in the system, with the biggest one for me being the point system.
Okay, I already see where he's going with this. He's talking about the spending points aspect. I mostly talk about the gaining points aspect. He wants something to progress more too, which is why I think we can totally kind of blend both worlds, and I think people are saying we can't do that. But my question is why? Why can't we do it? Obviously they're not going to change it in Black Ops 6, but maybe 7, folks. They can. Or maybe they can get a new mode out.
With the perfect example being augments. I would say these are wonderful additions that most people also agree on saying they're great additions in this game. But I'll go one step further. They are the greatest thing this game mode has ever seen, and I hope they continue to innovate on this system. This is the best thing they could have added to the game to give it more variety with how you play it. And keep that word in mind, because we're gonna come back to it later on. These augments are a core part of this gameplay that I think some people just kind of see as like an optional thing. No. These are
Okay, maybe I'm a bit confused here, but I don't know what he's going on about, and he kind of is losing me here.
But things are just different now. Let's go back to how the augments affect this point system. Being this powerful has to come with a cost, and the points/time to get those points is that cost.
He got me back. Okay, once again, it seems like he wants something more to spend when you have a lot of points, and so do I, alright? I'm all for increasing the price of each perk, and I do think the augment system is awesome and we need to keep it. And I'm all for increasing the price of each perk, and I do think the augment system is awesome and should stay in the game. But that's the augment system, not the point system. I personally do not see a correlation between the two. I get how augments make perks more powerful, but that's augments, not points. Matter of fact, the points still stay the same price with or without augments attached to it. But let's just get back to the video.
I'm gonna bring up this video again by CJ Santa. Again, no hate at all to you at all. I really like this video, but I think a little bit more could have been put into why the point system could potentially be good.
But BO6 takes it even further and makes the point system even worse. You see, because of the amount of bosses that the game spawns in, and how little points they drop when you kill them, it causes players to waste their ammo and not even be able to get it back in a lot of ways for the mid-rounds.
My argument for this is that while I do agree more points need to drop from these elite enemies for sure, it's not like that's any different than the old games. In Black Ops 2, when you kill a Panzer, you get 100 points. Are you fucking serious? I fucking never realized that back in the day. At least they changed it in Black Ops 3 to where you get 1500.
So the classic version, you do have a point to a certain degree. You see in the clip you were showing, it's at round 22 and you have 22,000 points. I feel like you're not starving for points.
Gonna starve.
So I do understand why the developers made the Panzers make you get 100 points, and even in Black Ops 6 they did increase that price higher for each boss or special elite enemy kill. So it makes sense, like it does make sense, but at the same time though, you were getting a lot of points. Like, you know, look once again, if you look at the round he's already on and you compare that round to Black Ops 6, that's like, you're not getting to that level, all right? Like your points are going to be gone by then. So it makes sense.
Difficult. People are saying, oh, just put in the old point system. I don't know why they don't do it. Here's exactly why. If you got as many points as you do in this old point system, nothing would feel rewarding.
Okay, so I personally think the new point system sucks because it matters how fast you kill them. He's saying you have to earn it, but at the same time, I feel like players are just going to use the meta weapons and zombies because regardless, you're going to get 90 or better yet, 115 points because there's no strategy when it comes down to earning points. They do make it more casual with you coming back with a lot of points and your weapon being at a higher tier. So I don't know if that's earned, I would say. That just makes me think classic is better. And let's not forget they're making it even easier, where if you spawn in with a meta weapon and you go buy Vulture Aid, you get more salvage and more points. Sometimes players like me, for example, will spawn in and wait for a weapon you want to get to a certain rarity and then buy it off the wall. And this matters because if you're using a meta weapon, you are dominating in the game.
That's what we should want, more variety with how you play the game. Also, traps actually give you points in this game, which is another thing that spreads those points out in other areas rather than solely on a gun, which encourages more things to be used on a map because it will add to your currency like it never did with the old point system.
He does also have a point there as well, because you earn points from so many other ways in BO6, and it might be hard to implement classic point system to the new point system, but I believe it is possible to blend the two still.
Ignored. And I think that's much more of a problem than just, oh, it's one little problem. I think a whole weapon type not being used that much is a big problem. Like, who looked at the L96, the Stakeout, the HS10, and guns similar to that and were like, oh yay, let me keep these guns. You don't need a point gun anymore. This is a whole new style of game. But here's the thing, right? There's going to be tiers and metas to weapons no matter what. And I think it's important in a game like this. Like, who's gonna take the CZ75s to round 35? Like, that seems like utter hell. But in this game, I gave it a try with the 9mm Makarov pistol, and I could get to round 35 with relative ease. It started capping out about there, but like, look, I ain't ashamed to say I ain't a high round player, but I'm above average when it comes to, like, I would say the regular player.
So he is right with meta weapons, but I feel like it's kind of worse here because yes, he is using the pistol and having fun, because at the end of the day, you should have fun. But the question really relies on, why would I do that over another weapon? I feel like a majority of people wouldn't. He's right on snipers though, but now they made it a grenade launcher hybrid, which was awesome, and the shotguns are very good too. I think Black Ops 3 really freaking did well with the weapons. I feel like there was no bad weapons there either. I remember seeing a high round with someone using a Shiva, so yeah.
I think the only thing that's making it seem like it's not as much variety is the loadout system. That is 100% where I agree with you, where I really don't think we need this loadout system. It ruins things like the mystery box.
Preach, brother, preach! Freaking preach, my lord, preach, man! I've been saying that the mystery box feels obsolete, and like I said with Vulture Aid, you can spawn in with a weapon and make it stronger. Alright folks, basically that video was really good. I just want to say that right off the bat, we had some agreements, we had some disagreements, but it doesn't matter as long as we're both enjoying the game and we both have some ideas. It seems like he's very passionate about Call of Duty Zombies, and I'm very passionate too about Call of Duty Zombies. We have some disagreements, and I don't want anyone sending in any hate to him at all. I just think the old point system is really good, and matter of fact, I still believe that we can actually blend the two and actually make it work. I think the trap kills, I think those are really good because those give you points, and I think also adding the score streaks and maybe they get you points too with the classic, and maybe like it's 10 points because now you're using the score streaks, and since score streaks are super OP and they're kind of mostly used for a get out of jail free card, I still find a way that it's very possible. That's where I'm trying to get at right now. It's that it's super possible that we can blend these two, because arguably he does have a good point with him saying that there are some goods and bads with the old point system and the new point system. So let's blend together, okay? Blend together and actually find the greatest point system possible. Hold on folks, we're not done yet though, because there is another person who's having a disagreement with me, and let's just get right into that, because you know what, it's gonna be amazing, it's gonna be interesting, and then afterwards we're actually gonna go over some hot takes from the community and actually see what they say.
Put on your game design hats here because this is fascinating.
So, we're jumping right into this. He has loads of graphs, but basically what he's going to do now is put the classic point system in Black Ops 6. Now, I've been wondering if we can do that, but what he did is very interesting. He didn't include salvage, I see, and maybe you guys can see it, but it doesn't seem like he's including salvage. He seems like he removed salvage completely, but if you guys watched my last video, which you guys should, I think salvage is a great thing. But let's watch what he says about putting the BO3 points in BO6.
Because this is fascinating. If everything was priced exactly how it is now in Black Ops 6 and we slapped in the Black Ops 3 point system, the traditional point system, the blue is the traditional point system and the orange is the Black Ops 6 point system we have currently, the person who bashes their head against the wall and decides to use the Vesper and the RK5 and just shoot into the Horde mind-numbingly boring would get 3 weapons, all fully triple pack-a-punch set up, all the perks, all the stuff ready by round 25 or 26. Decides to upgrade their weapons and use turned or fireworks or something that doesn't give them points, well, they're gonna have to wait until round 45 to get a singular gun, one gun, fully pack-a-punched.
But ammo mods in BO6 do give you points. I understand how there are people saying you can't just plot BO3 point system in and will work. I get it now. It wouldn't work, but we also need to include features that were added in BO6 that were really our quality of life, right? Ammo mods give you points now, traps give you points, and salvage like I was talking about. We should keep these, but he says something interesting, folks, that you guys wouldn't want to miss.
Really doesn't matter. Look at how close all of these points are until they stop requiring you to get points, right? Why would you, as a dev, change the point system in Black Ops 3? Because, well, most of the point requirement is before this round anyway. The only reason you would change this system is if you wanted points to mean more in the later rounds, which is exactly what Jason Blundell said in Black Ops 4. It's exactly what Treyarch has been saying about Cold War and Black Ops 6. They want points to matter later into the rounds. And so I want you to look at this and be authentic with yourself as a game designer. If you have this Black Ops 3 point system and you want points, if you want to raise up the point requirements here, where would you raise them to? How many points would you require from players?
Okay, so this is interesting because I do understand the development perspective in a way. I feel like they're trying to get gamers to play more and game more, right? If they increase the point system, they essentially are making players play longer. I noticed with COD is that they don't really want their players leaving. Well, but unfortunately everyone is still leaving regardless, so I don't know. Yikes. But don't worry, lads. I'm still here fighting the good fight, hoping for a good Call of Duty. Call of Duty Zombies and just Call of Duty in general is at an all-time low. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6, for example, seemed to be really made with the intent to keep players gaming as much as possible. Ooh, new game coming out. No, you must play Call of Duty. But besides that, I actually do like the idea of using your points in later rounds. I do get in Black Ops 3, for example, you were set up by round 25, let's say, okay? It would be cool to use your points in other ways. Whether it be like maybe giving your points to another player who always keeps going down and maybe just need a little bit of help. Paying for the Gobblegums, I actually did like that feature because I think Gobblegums can kind of make or break the game sometimes. And back in Black Ops 3, Gobblegums were just completely OP. So I actually like the feature of paying for the Gobblegums. But another feature that I really do like is actually paying for the subscribe button. Oh, wait, that's actually free. How did I get there? Okay, I guess we need to do it. It's actually free. It's actually free. Come on, guys. Come on.
I want to be honest. I want to be honest with myself. I want to be honest with you, beautiful people. When you play Black Ops 3, is the actual act of shooting zombies 8 times in the chest or 8 times in the foot really fun? I know it's fun to get the points from that. I know it's fun to maximize the game like that, but is the act itself, is the gameplay itself fun? Is it fun to use the Vesper on round 20 and just shoot into the hordes? The answer for me is no. If you think that shooting a zombie 8 times and then meleeing it is fun, you should do it in Black Ops 6. You don't do it in Black Ops 6 because you don't get the points from it, because they don't want you to spend the time doing that. They don't want you to think that you have to use this weak gun.
I actually do find it fun optimizing the point system. And yes, I do that every time I boot up an old classic COD game. I personally think it's fun because I got rewarded thinking outside the box. You know, he has a lot of data out here, and if he's trying to make the point that you can't simply put in a BO6, you already won. I get it now, okay? But we can optimize it for it to fit in the next COD Zombies. But let's take a moment to go back to the video.
The one and only thing I genuinely miss about the traditional point system is the agency that I have over my points. Clearly from the graphs, as we could tell, points are not relevant in Black Ops 3 past round like 15. So like this argument that I'm about to say that, oh, I can decide if I want to gain more points or not, it's not really relevant past round 15. I always thought that was kind of silly that like, oh my goodness, you know, you could get a wall weapon. You don't need a point gun past round 15. Like it's a silly argument.
Okay, so I said this already. You don't need a point gun. It's a strategy, and yeah, that does seem right. You don't need a point gun past round 15, and sometimes you don't need a point gun at all. So I already know where he's going with this. Players sometimes like switching guns during mid-match, but you can't do that in the new system. You pick your gun and it's your ride or die gun. Alright, you end up switching and you need so many points back again to get that weapon pack 3. And since it goes by kills, if you can't kill with the weapon you switch, then, well folks, you're done. It feels like everyone is a bullet sponge at that point. It's not fun anymore. It's just kind of, it's just no.
Feel that I went on. I see a huge argument, which I find rather silly, saying, well, Donuts, with this new point system, it decreases weapon variety because you only need to use shotguns and sniper rifles now. This is not only a silly argument, but it's also just objectively, factually wrong.
So he was just talking about players optimizing the fun in their favorite games. But now he's talking about every weapon is viable, which I disagree with. Because, yeah, players will find their meta guns without even looking at a video. If it is passing round 30, and I don't think every weapon does that, some weapons really start to drop off, maybe at 35, but this also makes me raise a point. What is the definition of viable? Are we talking about weapons that can make it to round 30? Well, I mean, to my memory, a lot of COD zombies already were doing that, but the question is, why would you want to do that? Basically, my question is, what is viable? Because my definition is that if it can go to high rounds. And I don't believe all the weapons can. But let's look at the comments in this video. Alright, so we're at the comment section right now, and we're gonna actually be reading some comments about this video because there is some people that seem like they were disagreeing with it. Like, for example, right here, I still don't get why the melee kills giving you less than critical kills in BO6 since you're almost guaranteed to get hit if you melee. This actually makes no sense because, like, at least with the old Call of Duty system, if you actually meleeed, you actually got more points. You got 130 points, while in this one you got about 105, which makes no sense because you're taking more risk actually trying to kill the zombie. This, I don't know, it makes no freaking sense to me. All right, I don't care what the point system is, I just want to feel like I can switch to another weapon mid-match. I can recover if I die. Right now, neither of those are true for BO6. This person actually got a lot of replies, and he actually got replied from the creator himself, which is Donuts. I have absolutely no idea how BO6 prevents you from switching weapons or recovering. That's just mathematically not possible. No, that's not true, man. I disagree with that. I actually, if you're at super high round, for example, and you actually want to switch, no, you can't do that because now your weapon is such, like, doing so low damage. So that makes no sense why he's saying that. So if you're actually, let's say for example, like wanted to be at round 30 and for whatever reason, maybe you want to switch to another weapon, right? At round 30, you can't do that. You just can't do that. You already spent so much points. It's no, you can't. It's over. Someone actually agrees with me too. Every weapon in the game is bad. It makes you feel bad for using it. And after you go down, you've been put behind almost 30k points just trying to reset up. So yeah, there's some people that are actually in agreement with this. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. Limiting the perfect BO3 setup to just wall buys with AATs misses out on one of the most important aspects of the game, wonder weapons and the mystery box. Do this same experiment on a map like Revelations or any BO1 map where all wonder weapons are in the box and you get a way more deviation from game to game. That randomness meant your point efficiency could be really important and made those early rounds relevant in a way there aren't in BO6. Loading into zombies and not knowing what you're going to get is what made the game special. Okay, so this guy right here wrote an amazing thing right now. You guys can actually read the whole thing if you guys want to. He pretty much disagrees with the Treyarch's analysis, the point relevancy, and this is like, it's such a hot topic right now because I you know, people actually call me like they say like, oh look, you're just kind of like nostalgic to the old Call of Duty Zombies. I just think the old Call of Zombies point system was really good, and I actually do think Black Ops 6 has the potential to be a really good zombies game. I really do think so. I agree with a lot of comments here. I do think the video is great also. I did enjoy it. I feel like the old point system is just better though, and I respectfully disagree. And I would like to see the classic mode system that has been getting rumor about for a while now, because maybe that'd be a dream come true. The OG video is in the description. But wait folks, we're actually going to be going over some hot takes from the community and see how that's going to go down. Let's actually get right into it because that's pretty interesting. You guys are really interested with these hot takes. So let's just get into that. Hey, folks, don't you hate when people say, just spawn in with the pistol if you don't like the loadout system? Well, just show them this clip.
You do.
You guys see the issue? The game isn't built like that. Compared that to the old games. So boom, end of debate. Right now, folks, we're going to be reading the most hottest of hot takes. Let the best gamer of all time end these debates. The debates that have been frustrating you since birth. And in the end, I'm going to celebrate my victory with some orange chicken. Oh my god, such delicious orange chicken. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright folks, you guys already know it's me, the most sexy gamer in the whole wide world. And right now, we're looking at the hot takes. So, let's look at the very first hot take, which is Die Rise is a top 5 map. I don't think it's a top 5 map. I think it's better than Transit when Black Ops 2 was going on with this life cycle. But the thing is though, I know I'm going to offend a lot of people, but I gotta say it, man. I think pretty much like Transit was like diarrhea and then Die Rise was like the solid poop, you know? Like you're kind of right, but you're just like, it's just still bad. I actually think Die Rise was pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest here. As for George is the best boss in Zombies, George Romero from Call of Dead, I don't know, is he considered a boss? If he is considered a boss, cool, but I don't know if he's the best boss. I guess he is somebody who's constantly after you, but I also remember back in the day that people really were frustrated with him and they found glitches to try to remove him. Gorod Krovi has a bad layout and a terrible Easter egg. It is the worst map in BO3. I am going to be honest here. I think BO3, all the maps were pretty good. I really think so. I think Shadows of Evil was kind of hard at first, but I think it was a very great map, and I think now it's very well loved in the community. As for Gorod Krovi, I think Gorod Krovi is also really great. I do actually am in agreement with the Easter egg. I think the Easter egg was really bad because I don't really like any type of step that kind of like has a chance of you insta dying. Now I do know that you can go all the way to spawn and that can actually save you from not dying, but still it's kind of frustrating. All right, I'm gonna be absolutely crucified, but alas, Shangri-La is the worst BO1 map, perhaps one of the worst solo maps of all time. Frustrating to play and F all to do in solo. I am gonna be honest here. I am also in agreement with that. I think Shangri-La is probably the weakest map in BO1. I do think it's actually pretty bad, but I some parts of me does enjoy it, but I just think Shangri-La could have been better. Infinite War Zombies is a top 3 zombies experience in my opinion. More fun than BO3 is after getting director's cut. I also want to say that Infinite War Zombies is actually pretty good. I think it actually knew its audience. I think it knew where it was going, and I think that's actually something to kind of appreciate. But you know, alas, Infinite Warfare actually got a lot of hate, and unfortunately I don't think a lot of people are gonna recognize it on how good of a Call of Duty game it was. Tag der Toten had a good ending. I do not think Tag der Toten had a good ending, to be honest with you. Now, I don't think Tag der Toten had a good ending. All right, I'm just gonna say that right now. No, it did not, because you kind of spend so much time with these characters. You actually fall in love with these characters. You want them to actually succeed. You want them to actually have this great ending. Now, if one person was gonna have to sacrifice themselves, like, fine, that's okay. But I just feel like it's kind of funny that, like, it's kind of conjointed a little bit, if that makes sense, like, because Nikolai ends up taking this role as a leader right in BO4, even though I don't feel like he actually shows any type of experience with that. I don't even think there was any hints to that. It feels like, I know people would say, well, Call of Duty Treyarch actually had it all planned out from the start. Yeah, sure, okay, cool, man. I don't believe that. No, I just don't. I don't believe that they had it all planned out. No one's gonna sit here and tell me, oh yeah, they had it planned out for the multiverse, and they had it completely planned out that Nikolai was gonna be the main guy that was actually gonna, you know, be the one to stop everything and had the whole greatest idea of all time. No, I don't think so, because in BO4 it felt like that Nikolai all of a sudden just like he knew what to do, and he's like, you know what, we're gonna actually sacrifice ourselves, and I'm gonna trick everybody, and you know, yada yada yada. And then he ends up becoming this wise dude, and it doesn't even seem really earned. I don't think it actually seems earned that he actually all of a sudden becomes that, because like it just seems like he was whining awfully a lot. I didn't really enjoy the ending. I thought the ending was kind of felt rushed. It did seem like it was rushed. It also seemed like they were building up to something more, and that also is really frustrating. It seemed like there was going to be really the Great War, but this time it was going to be different because Nikolai actually probably found the way, maybe found something out, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but BO4 is actually fun, especially with friends. Oh my god. Here's my little rant here, okay? Anything is fun with friends. There has never been a time where you're playing a multiplayer game with your friends and you're like, gosh, man, I really wish that you guys were not here, because I don't really want to play with you guys. I don't really want to play with you guys. Cool. You know, yeah, I never seen anybody that says they were playing Skyrim and they're like, oh my god, bro, like, to be honest with you, I'm actually glad it's single player. I don't even want to play with my friend. F that guy Kyle. That guy Kyle that keeps messaging me, F that dude. I ain't playing with him. It's freaking weird, man. So it's just like, that makes no sense to me, man. So obviously, yeah, everything will be fun with friends. Like, I'm pretty sure you can go outside and play with some sticks and it will be fun with friends. What, you're gonna review the stick game? Be like, yeah, dude, sticks are alright playing by yourself, but it's actually really fun with some friends. Really fun. Like, oh no, that's just my little rant to that. Dead of Night should be in any hardcore zombies player's top 5 maps, assuming that nostalgia isn't involved. So I want to say that Dead of the Night was actually a really good map, and I actually enjoyed it, and I actually enjoy it because it actually spawned you in differently. It's kind of like those small differences that actually can go a long way. Like, that's actually why I like Verrückt, because in Verrückt you spawned in and it's really cool. And then I remember back in the day with my friends on how we did it was that we actually made it teams. So if those 2 people went down or the other 2 people went down, then I think that's actually kind of cool, because it's like, oh my god, like, who's gonna win, who's gonna come out on top, you know? But besides that, besides the nostalgia that's coming out, I actually just think it's be kind of cool to spawn in a different way, right? Instead of spawning with your teammates, maybe you're spawning by yourself and you have to work your way to your teammates, stuff like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. It's a unique idea. It's unique, but it's simple too. It's unique and it's simple and it's creative. Going back to Dead of the Night, Dead of the Night is also great because there's so many things to do, and I think the map is great. I actually like the Wonder Weapon. I think it was actually a pretty good Easter egg. I actually enjoyed doing the Easter egg on that one. I completed it a couple times because I just thought it was really fun. So that's just my opinion. I think Dead of the Night was pretty good up there. I would say it's pretty up there. I don't know if it's in my top 5, but I'll say it's up there. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you watch more of my content. Make sure that you subscribe to the best gamer of all time, and make sure you stay sexy. Anyways, folks, it's time for me to go.
Everybody put their hands up, cause we money making, money making, money making. We slaying all these dragons, no, I'm not imagining. The problems keep on piling.